I am about to say things to you that I wish someone had told me 2 years ago when I was sobbing hysterically in my car and wonder, am I too broken to be loved? Trust me, I get it. I've been single on purpose for the past 2 years, and sometimes in those little quiet moments, I wonder, am I ever going to find love again? Am I worthy of love? I just want someone that can see me for who I am, can actually love me for who I am. Feeling that you're never going to be loved again is not a fact. Feeling that you're unlovable is just a symptom. It's just a leftover belief of what you survived. Feelings are not facts. I'm not here as a coach. I'm not here as a motivational speaker. I'm just here as a friend who has gone through this. Let me tell you one story. One night, I just had dropped off my daughter and I came over to a completely empty house. It was so quiet. Unfortunately, my animal companion passed 2 days after I moved out. So I had no animal companion who was my baby for the past 13 years. I didn't have my daughter there, and I found myself completely alone. I had lived alone in the past, but this time I actually had a daughter. I had a whole life. I had a family that I no longer had together. And that was really, really hard for me to go through. I just felt really empty, and not in like a, oh, I'm so peaceful kind of way. It really hit me. I felt like something was wrong with me. That was the first night that I finally said out loud, what if no one ever loves me again? Oh, I feel so bad for that little Leslie. The younger version of myself was going through such a hard time. But what I didn't know back then is that that belief that you are unlovable is really not coming from your heart. It's coming from your trauma. It literally was just an echo of all of the times I had been ignored, emotionally abandoned, made to feel like I had to shrink to be enough. When I started learning about emotional abuse, I recognized that this belief is just a symptom. Just like when you get hit, you get a bruise. Feeling like you're unlovable is actually a symptom of the trauma. And it's just a result of being emotionally hurt. Like a hit to your heart that actually stays. And so this symptom maintains. But the reality is that has nothing at all to do with your value, with your worth. If you believe that you're too broken, too complicated, just not worth the effort, I want you to just pause. Okay? Breathe and know that those thoughts are symptoms, not truths. You know what the wild thing is? That once you start recognizing this, now you start getting curious about yourself. Now you start wondering, then what is true about myself? I remember sitting not too long ago, actually, looking through my journal. I have a lot of journals from the beginning of the divorce. I really journaled quite a bit. And I was looking through them, and as I looked through them, I recognized, wow, I have been through a lot. Yet I'm still showing up. I'm still here for my kid. I am still loving. I am still living, and I'm thriving more than ever. Your worth is not something that someone just hands over to you. It is not based on who texts you back or who comes over or who's there or who's not. It's the reality of who you are as a person. I had to start seeing myself through a different lens. It was not the lens of who I had left, but the lens of who I am when nobody else is looking. The person who comforted herself to sleep, who got up in those mornings and parented even though I had nothing left in me. That's who the real me is and who the real me was all along. Let me remind you that you are not valuable because somebody else sees you. You are valuable because you exist. Just the mere fact that you exist in this world makes you a valuable person. You are here and you are healing. Once you start believing that, those little tiny voices in the back of your head start creeping in. They're like little mental pop-ups that start saying, don't get too confident. Remember what they said about you. Let's talk about those voices. The voices that can be of your ex, of your parents, of that friend that never really truly supported you but acted like they did. That kind of voice that's in the back of your head trying to keep you from being yourself just because they couldn't do it. There was this moment I was getting ready to go out with a new friend that I had made at the park, and out of nowhere I heard the voice in my head that said, you're too intense, you're too loud, no one likes you, you're just too much. For a second I believed it. I almost canceled. I almost let a ghost from my past dictate my present. And then I just woke up and I told myself, that's not your voice, that's his. I took a second to breathe and I actually went, and I'm so glad that I did because I laughed so hard that night, had so much fun, and the truth is that I felt so loved, so seen. Here's the truth. Those narratives that you hear, the ones that say that you're too broken, too messy, too sensitive, those are actually projections from people who couldn't handle your light because they were drowning in their own darkness. Yes, it takes practice to separate their voice from your own, but it's absolutely possible. Start by noticing, does this belief empower me or does it shrink me? And if you feel like it shrinks you, that voice is definitely not yours. Once you start pushing back on those lies, something else sneaks in. You start putting pressure on yourself. You start feeling like, oh my goodness, I am healed. So then if I know what my worth is, then why do I still feel sad sometimes? You start being really hard on yourself. And let's be honest, healing is really messy. It is not linear. It is not you writing 3 times in your journal and all of a sudden you're going to manifest the man of your dreams. You're going to get the salary that you want and your life is going to be peachy perfect all the time. Nope. Nope. It's messy. It's like crying in your car on a random Tuesday because a song that came on your Spotify or whatever hit too hard. It's like holding boundaries to those people who used to walk all over you and then feeling guilty afterwards, even though you know that this is the right thing to do. Hello, it's Leslie from the future. So you can see I didn't get to finish the video in the car, so here I am. One of the things that we were talking about was me saying that healing is not linear, right? There was this week where I was trying to co-parent peacefully. I was trying to run my business, trying to do the work on myself, and I just cracked. I remember very clearly writing down in my journal over and over, why am I still feeling like I'm not enough? I've read all the books, I've done all the therapy, I've done all the things, and I just couldn't get myself to feel like I was enough. In that moment, I remember very well, after a few times that I wrote it down, that the reality is that I was not failing. I was being real with myself. And healing is not about pretending that everything is okay. Healing is about you being honest on where you're at without judging yourself. Self-worth can be you dancing in the kitchen, turning down a date that you know is gonna bring old patterns back to you. Sometimes it's just making it through the day and knowing that you actually were able to survive that day. And sometimes it's just making it through the day and being proud of that. That's the magic in all of this. It's not about pretending that everything is fine. It's about you being kind and tender to yourself, because that's what you deserve. Here's what I want to leave you with. You're not too broken to be loved. You are so loved by the version of you that never gave up, by the people who haven't even met you yet are gonna be so lucky to have met you. Being called too much is just code for them saying, this is more I could carry, by someone who didn't have the strength for it. And that's not your burden to carry. That's a sign of your power, your magic. If no one has told you this today, I see you. And I'm so proud of all of the progress that you have made. And you deserve a love that doesn't ask you to shrink. Thank you for hanging out with me today. I am so happy that you were able to make it to the end of my video. And please share this with someone that needs a little pep talk to be able to put forward and recognize all of the love that they are. Because you yourself are loved. You don't need to have external love to validate you. You are more than enough. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next video. Check out this one right here and you'll be able to see all of my videos that I have on this topic. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye!
Just saw a cat that looked exactly like Gaia. I mean, Angel.
Gaia's a dog.